The King's speech on 13th of May set out the government's programme for the next parliamentary session. And one thing that was missing was the Equality, Race and Disability Bill. That's the bill that would bring in mandatory ethnicity and disability pay gap reporting, and that was one of the Labour Party's manifesto commitments. So the government first mentioned the bill in the previous King's speech, just after the election in July 2024. But unlike the Employment Rights Act, it hasn't appeared as promised. But it doesn't look like the plan to introduce ethnicity and disability pay gap reporting has been dropped. The government has been clear that it still intends for it to go ahead. It just hasn't provided any kind of timeline. So we know it's likely to be based very much on the structure of the gender pay gap reporting duties. So it will apply to organisations with 250 or more employees, and they'll need to report the same kinds of figures that they do for gender. The difficulty the government has to address with the rules on ethnicity and disability pay gap reporting is how to compare multiple different racial identities and multiple different disabilities. Another complicating factor is that many employers may find that they have issues with the quality of their data. So employees may not always feel comfortable sharing their ethnicity or sharing whether they have a disability. And if employers don't have this data, then creating a meaningful pay gap report will be impossible. So the government has set out quite a bit of detail about how it intends the duties to work, but we still haven't got the actual bill, and they haven't provided even a very rough idea of when we can expect it. So it may be that they don't want to commit to a time frame, particularly as there is still a lot of work to be done to implement the remaining Employment Rights Act measures, or it may be that they publish the bill tomorrow. We just don't know. But either way, employers don't have to wait for the legislation to start preparing, and many employers are already publishing their ethnicity and disability data voluntarily. But if you know you have gaps in your data, you might want to start taking action to address that now. And Brightmine has guidance to help employers with this, including on encouraging ethnicity disclosure and on the process of calculating the ethnicity pay gap voluntarily. So having the data, even if you don't report it yet, will help identify what action is needed to close any gap.